So earlier today, NetFlix and the Power Rangers official YouTube page and IGN and all the places of media, movies, games, and shows and all that, released the trailer, I guess you could say the teaser trailer, behind-the-scenes trailer, whatever you want to call it, of the Netflix special Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. And you might ask yourself, well, how is this possible since the last time we all checked, Nickelodeon owned the rights to Power Rangers? And that's a good question, but I think Nickelodeon has a deal, a partnership with Netflix, to where Netflix can show some of the programming, some of the series from the past that they have ownership to. Unlike with Paramount Plus, that does show a lot of the content, but doesn't show certain ones because they're licensed to other places like Netflix, like Amazon, Apple, you name it. So basically, Netflix has decided that since they own the rights to showcase, basically allow people to binge the original Mighty Morphin series, that they, along with Nickelodeon, are going to basically release a 30th anniversary special called Once and Always. And what's interesting about this is you get a lot of the cast members of the Mighty Morphin era as part of this. Now, some, unfortunately, can't be there unless, for one of them, that being Jason David Frank, it may have been his last performance, because we do see in the trailer the Green Ranger, so we can assume that Jason David Frank did take part in this before his untimely passing due to what he did to himself. So again, we can only assume that he did have some part in it somehow. And apparently David Yost, I should say, who's the Blue Ranger, Billy, was the one that was behind the story. Basically, I think he wrote the script, or reports are he had something to do with, getting the story together and, making it what it is. So we'll just see what he has planned for us, or what he kind of helped come up with when it comes to the special. But yeah, they released it, and I'll tell you, it's great to see a lot of the cast that could be there. I mean, they have the girl that played, I think they have the girl that played Aisha. They have her back, and you might ask yourself, well, wait a minute. Didn't Mighty Morphin Power Rangers write her out? Like she stayed in the past or something, or she stayed in some kind of alternate present, or whatever the case was when they did the Alien Ranger deal? Well, I think that will be answered, because according to David Yost and Walter Jones, when they were being interviewed, along with the cast and crew, that this is going to be somewhat of a different take. Like, it's going to probably be within the same continuity that you know of right now with Power Rangers, but it's basically going to be like, it's kind of like, basically it's going to be something like, it's what you know about Power Rangers, even up to currently, but it's going to be like, something that explains a lot of loose ends. Like, it's going to tie up a lot of loose ends, from what I can tell. And the way it looks right now is the Aisha character and the Adam character are part of some kind of Ranger group, Ranger Corps. I'm not really sure. Almost SPD-like, but not really. So it'll be interesting to see what the roles are for them, but they are all coming back together for this. They got Steve Crandon, who was Rocky, so he's going to be back for this. They got Catherine Sutherland, who played Kat in there, who was the one that Amy Jo Johnson's character Kimberly passed the pink power coin onto. So she's back for that. She's going to be back for that. And as far as we know, the plot is that Rita is coming back. Rita, is coming back, but apparently, it's going to be the voice of Rita, the lady that did the dub for Rita in the original, or at least, played Rita, I think, in the Americanized version of Power Rangers. I think she's coming back, but she's going to voice Rita, and Rita's going to be coming back as a robot or something. I don't really know. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what they bring to the table. Now, like I said, the trailer that they released was kind of a teaser, a behind-the-scenes deal to give us an idea, give us a taste of what's around the corner for us. And I can tell you this, with this being a 30th anniversary, we've seen a lot of reunions, with the Power Rangers and everything. We've seen a lot of old Rangers reunite for like legendary battles, crossovers, stuff like that. I think the last major crossover we had was, Lord Draken had basically kidnapped some of the past Rangers and had a robot impersonate Tommy, and it turned out it was a fake. And we had, you can see the sequence on Nickelodeon, I think if they still have it up there, of Tommy versus Tommy, full and complete. But yeah, you had that moment, you had that crossover and stuff and everything. So yeah, you had tons of crossovers, of past Rangers, in their original forms, like, Mighty Morphin, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, you name it. Light Force and all that. Was it Light Force? No, not Light Force. Hold on for a second. Let me think about it for a second. Now, it's not Light Force. It was Light Speed. You had Light Speed. You had Time Force. That's the one I was thinking about, Time Force. You had Wild Force in there. So you had a lot of representation during, I think, one of the last crossovers that Nickelodeon showed. And now we're getting this big Mighty Morphin deal reunion. And again, like they said in the trailer, it's going to be kind of a different take, but it sounds like they're going to keep it, as I mentioned, within the continuity we know of, like have some kind of connection maybe to what's going on now with the current Power Ranger series and whatnot. Now, that's not the only Power Rangers news that came out today. Today was basically like a Power Ranger news day, if you will. The other news item that they brought out, is we have basically the revealed cast for the next Power Ranger series called Cosmic Fury, and history is going to be made. That's right, history will be made. Because basically we are getting in Cosmic Fury our first female Red Ranger. And everybody knows that has followed Power Rangers that the Red Ranger primarily, unless the story calls for it, the Red Ranger is primarily the leader. So yes, we are getting, as far as on-screen goes, we are getting our first female Red Ranger, first female Power Ranger leader. So that's pretty cool. Now, some might say, well, wasn't Kimberly kind of in that role when Tommy became the Right Ranger, and then you had Austin St. John and that and Walter and the Trini character leave the show. Didn't that put like Kimberly like second in command a little bit? You could say that, you could argue that and everything. And you might say, well, didn't they already have a female leader with with the alien White Ranger? Yeah, you could say that too. But again, it's only because the story called for it to be like that. Otherwise, it's always primarily been the Red Ranger. The Red Ranger to some extent. And right now, like I said, historically, we've never had on screen a female Red Ranger as the leader. Now, I don't know if this is going to, keep in tone with what they did with the original Super Sentai, which Cosmic Fury is going to be based on. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Because I can tell you right now, if she succeeds in becoming a very popular character because, of being the first female leader, I think this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of, a pattern that we will see. Like, I have a feeling after this girl, and they do the next Power Ranger series, we're going to get, maybe not another female leader, but I got a feeling like maybe 2 series later, if the Power Ranger Super Sentai franchise is still going by then, I've got a feeling within the next 2-3 series, we'll see our second female Power Ranger leader after this one. But yeah, Cosmic Fury has a new Power Ranger leader, and it's the first female Red Ranger. Now, before you say anything, yes, the IDW Comics, I think it's the IDW Comics, or it's the Boom No, it's the Boom Studio Comics. I think that's the one. Yeah, it's the Boom Studio Comics. But as I was saying, sorry for that interruption, like I said, historically, this will be the first female casted Power Ranger leader that we've had on screen. And like I said, if she becomes popular, it might lead to something to where, like, again, as I was saying before the interruption there, I don't know if it'll be, if the series, the franchise overall will still be going. But I think basically over time, we may probably like a few series later get a female leader once again and all that. And like I was saying, some people would argue, well, didn't we have that before with Alien Rangers to an extent with, Kimberly and all that? Yeah, we did. But none of this, like this magnitude or anything like that. And again, I don't know if this is going off of, what they present in Super Sentai. I don't know if it's going off of that. It might be different. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what they do and everything. But I can say this honestly, knowing that this is 30 years and everything now being celebrated with the Netflix special, that in the 30 years, this is like the newest, Cosmic Fury is the newest series coming out probably this year. I'll say this, I will be honest with you, it really makes you, it really makes you appreciate your youth. There is no doubt. It really does, because I remember getting into this a little bit. I think it was like in the fall of '93 or something like that. Well, it wasn't the fall of '93. I was in California at the time, but it was mostly when I came back in the summer. I think, in the summer of '94 or something. Did I see a little bit of? No, wait a minute. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did see some of it. I did see some of it basically, when we were living in Kansas for a little bit, because I think it came out in the spring, I believe, springtime on syndication and Fox. So yeah, I did see a little bit of it, but that's about it. That's about it. And then I really didn't start getting into it until I moved back, like I said, back out to California. Oh, not California, but out to Kansas to be with my dad, and I was celebrating my 15th birthday here. In fact, one of the pictures, if I can find it, because I know I have it online somewhere, one of the pictures has me basically pointing down at a Power Rangers cake that they got me for my birthday, because I was, watching and getting into it at that time. And it was a big deal, because even in my high school, we had a couple of students at Oskaloosa High that were fans of it. In fact, 2 friends of mine who were going out together at that time for, I think it was a Spirit Week. I think it was Spirit Week leading into homecoming night. And they have a picture of this in the yearbook. 2 friends of mine dressed up as, the pink and the white Ranger. I'm not really sure, but they put Power Ranger masks on themselves to pose like that. So yeah, it was a big deal. And I can remember basically in '95, wanting to go see the movie, and I did on the big screen. Unfortunately for my dad, it kind of interfered with what he wanted to see. He wanted to see Congo. And I think according to reviews by people like Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, I think I kind of saved my dad from a movie that he may have regretted. Instead, he ended up watching Casper, and he thought that was good too. he thought that was good too. But yeah, I ended up seeing Power Rangers on the big screen. I don't know if I saw the second one on the big screen. I don't know if I did. I can't remember, but I do remember watching the first one on the big screen and thoroughly enjoying it. And then, of course, just keeping tabs of the show for a while until basically I started to just, not totally get out of being a fan, but kind of be like, yeah, now it's kind of going in directions I may not know about. It even got to a point that, I was still following it up till Time Force and everything. I was still following up to the end a little bit. But then what was interesting after that is, well, in between that time, before we started to really get into, the experimentation of MP3s and all that, the digital music, a lot of us, and this is again at a time when the internet was just still coming into its own, right? It's still very much of in its infancy. And I remember just burning a bunch of stuff on the CD, a bunch of music and stuff, theme songs. And one of them was Lost Galaxy. And I'm thinking, okay, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy was to see what this sounds like. And when I heard it, I was like, this is totally different. Like, what is this? And it always kind of threw me off. So when I finally watched some episodes, I was like, oh, now I see why they have the theme song for it and why, basically what the show is really about kind of deal. But anyway, after that, like I said, I was kind of back and forth for a while, and really didn't start getting back into it, I think, until I moved out on my own and everything. And I started to notice that they were bringing back some classic characters. And one of the classic characters, of course, was Jason David Frank's Tommy character for Dino Thunder. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Once you read about that and hear about that, you'll think, okay, it's pretty cool. Is he gonna? Because basically you're thinking he's going to be the mentor. He's going to be like the Zordon of the group. And he was. But you didn't expect the mentor Zordon of the group to get into the action, and he did. So I thought that was really cool to see that, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I even recorded, and I think I still have it on DVD. No, I do have it on DVD, as a matter of fact, because it was one of the DVD plus R's I recorded it on. I recorded the Back in Black deal, Back in Action one, the two-parter where he comes back as a Power Ranger. So I recorded that because it was like, yeah, it's the 500th episode. That's what it was, the 500th episode overall of Power Rangers. Not just Dino Thunder, but overall of Power Rangers. So, yeah, I basically watched that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, really did. And then, of course, when Power Rangers went to Disney bought the rights for that, and kind of Disney-fied it a bit. I still kind of tried to keep up with it. I think it was with Wild Force that I kind of started to kind of watch it back and forth, especially when I heard about because I think one of the things they did was I don't know if it was a holiday weekend or something, but they did a Power Rangers Range-a-thon. And I remember watching it and recording all the episodes that they were airing. In fact, it was actually a Power Ranger Team-Up Marathon is what it was. It was a Power Ranger Team-Up Marathon. And it was featuring all the team-ups that became very notable with Power Rangers. Some were, there were some exceptions that were not, involved in the crossover, like, Zeo with Alien and stuff like that. But still, or even Mighty Morphin with Kamen Rider, Masked Rider, if you will. So, but still, there was a lot of them. They had the crossover with the Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers Space with the Ninja Turtles. They had a Lost Galaxy with time. They had Lost Galaxy with Space Rangers, and they had Lost Galaxy with Lightspeed, and then Lightspeed with Lost Galaxy. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me correct myself. They showed in space, the Space Rangers team with the Ninja Turtles, and they had the Galaxy Rangers with Space Rangers, and the Galaxy Rangers with the Lightspeed Rangers. There we go. And then the Lightspeed Rangers with the Time Force Rangers, and then Time Force with basically Wild Force, and then they had the Forever Red one. And then I think they did the one with Wild Force and Ninja Storm. and so on and so forth. But yeah, I watched all of that. I recorded all of that. I still have the DVD plus RW, that is, of it. And I would watch it on occasion because I thought these were really good. And you now can watch these on YouTube, I believe, as well. So if you want to see these crossovers, you can do it. But yeah, I was still kind of a fan, not as much as I used to be, because I think when Power Rangers got acquired by Disney, it's like, yeah, it's Disney. Disney can give it a bit of a oomph, if you will, but a bit of a boost. But I think because it was associated with Disney, it just didn't really, it just didn't really kickstart, the revitalization that I think they were hoping for. You didn't really do that. And it wasn't until, I think, Saban got the license back and was working, I think, independently again, just partnering with people before selling it to Nickelodeon, that things really started to pick up again, because I think the people at Nickelodeon, realized, hey, if we're going to make this a popular IP for people to watch, then we need to basically, give the fans what they ask for, what they thrive for. And thus, lo and behold, we ended up getting a lot of these great crossovers and returns of characters that we had not seen for a while. And now it's all culminating with Netflix doing the Once and Forever deal, which, again, it's going to be a little different according to what David said in the trailer, but I think it's still going to tie into what we know of Rangers then and now. So, again, I'm really looking forward to it when it happens. Cannot wait for it. They did say there's going to be some Easter eggs, so we might see some cameos. Maybe maybe Bulk and Skull show up. Maybe we get a reference to Kimberly, in a sense. Maybe why she couldn't be there or something. But we'll see. And again, I don't know if this is going to be the last performance we see of Jason David Frank, if he's a part of it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, where that leads us in the future. But yeah, it's just great to see this happening overall, and seeing Rangers that you didn't think would ever come back actually making their return. So yeah, it's going to be great to see. And ironically, what's funny, and I thought this was kind of weird. They had Steve Crandons, who plays Rocky. Him and Walter saying that this is the first time they've worked together, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is the first time you guys have worked together. Did you kind of sort of cross paths during the Transfer of Power two-parter? Didn't you kind of cross paths then? Because the Transfer of Power was basically the farewell for the Jason, Zach, and Trini characters, because they were leaving the show. So I'm thinking, didn't you kind of cross paths there? Maybe they forgot. I don't know. But yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see that, to hear that, I should say. Because again, I'm thinking, didn't they cross paths? Didn't Johnny Bosch, who plays Adam, didn't he cross paths with Walter and everything? I can understand maybe Catherine Sutherland not crossing paths with Walter Jones, because she came in later, when she became the new Pink Ranger. But I still, it's like, what's going on here? That's what kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. But still, besides that, I'm just like anybody else, happy that they're doing this, and I cannot wait for April 19th to get here, because I am going to be watching this as a fan. And you know what this does prove? It does prove that if you want it to happen as a fan, because two of the people on there obviously were fans as kids growing up with this 30 years ago. So, that's why they're part of it, because they just would like to see these. I think they even said it themselves, that the reason they're part of this is because, they just want to see this collection of Rangers again back together, So that's why they're part of it as directors. But it does prove one thing. That if you're passionate enough about it, and you want to see, something get one more shot in the arm, one more chance to, ride off into the sunset the way it was meant to do, This right here, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Always, this 30th anniversary special, that's a prime example right there. A true prime example. I mean, the thing is, Power Rangers has been involved in a lot of things lately. You know, crossovers with Street Fighter and Turtles and Justice League. I mean, come on, you name it, they've done it. And now we're getting this, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. How do you feel about the Power Rangers Once and Always 30th anniversary special coming in April? What are you looking forward to? What Easter eggs do you think they'll drop and hint at? Who do you think will make cameos? And what are your overall memories of Power Rangers? Did you get to see them? Did you get a chance to see the movies on the big screen? Like I did. I got to see the first one. I can't remember if I did for the second. But what are your thoughts overall, you know, on the movies? If you, like I said, if you went and saw them and everything, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, and until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later.